Hey guys, welcome back to the Hood Knees Fantasy Football Podcast. This is episode 7, NFC West. This is your host, Keem. I'm with MFB
Yup.
and BBTB.
AKA Bench 550, AKA him, AKA do what it does what it do.
Yeah, bro, we know.
Winner,
We know.
cousin.
All right, yeah, thanks for the introduction, BBTB. We can't start without that. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and start us off with the Cardinals. So everyone knows they drafted Marvin Harrison, and he's gonna be fire this year for sure. I'm excited for him. And they also drafted Trey Benson, the 3rd round, the running back.
Who?
And that's pretty much it. They didn't do anything else. He's out of Florida State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but other than that, nothing else for the Cardinals. But let's go over that team. Let's start with Kyler Murray. What do you guys think about Kyler Murray in terms of as a quarterback?
Kyler Murray, he's like a solid quarterback. But when you add Marvin Harrison to that team, a healthy McBride, and you got a 2nd-year Michael Wilson, and then I think you still got like Brad Dortch and Randall Moore, I feel like he becomes into like in the elite quarterback for the fantasy of 2024, So I feel like that offense is going to move too, also with like James Conner there being healthy there. And so I feel like that's going to be a good offense with Kyler Murray there.
Yeah, I'm a Cardinals fan, so everything I say is going to be skewed. But MFB, any thoughts on the Cardinals, or especially actually with Kyler Murray?
I think like before preseason started, I was kind of fading Kyler Murray and low-key other Cardinals.
Yeah.
But after looking at numbers from last year and kind of the situation they have, I think fantasy-wise, he could produce pretty well, right? So if I look at, he missed like weeks 1 through 9, right? So if we look at points per game of QBs last year, he made the top 10. Respectable,
You're
so there's definitely room for improvement, but that's the thing. Like he could be a value pick at where he's going.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's currently being drafted as QB8. He's being drafted in the middle of the 6th round. Well, that's his rank on Yahoo. He's being drafted the end of the 5th round. So people are scooping him up early. Sleeper, he's being drafted at the end of the 6th round. So there's a little discrepancy there between draft picks on Kyler Murray. It all depends on your format. Just, be aware of how people are drafting in your leagues. But I think he's going to do good things. He's fully over a year removed from the injury. So that, I mean, he came back last year and played, what was it, from October? Week 10 did he start? Or what week did he start again?
Week
10.
It was week 10.
11, something like that.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, so now being completely removed from that injury, I think he's kind of in the hot seat. I mean, a lot of people were talking about, and there was rumors that they were trying to look for a different QB. Is he a franchise QB? Can he do it? Is he too short? Can he even see over the line? There's a lot of people that are criticizing, Kyler Murray. So I think he's going to step up, and he's either going to make it, or they, if he doesn't, then they might have to look elsewhere for a better quarterback. But I think he's going to do good things, and I do think he's good value for where he's at. I think let's move on to James Conner, running back. How do you guys feel about him? Is he going to do good things? Is he going to fall apart? What do you guys think?
I think he's always that like safe mid-round QB that you could get and bank on.
RB.
Always having like a decent floor.
Yeah.
In your lineup, right?
Yeah.
Probably not going to go nuts crazy for you, but like he'll get you like some steady points week to week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he did good things last season in the fantasy fight in the championship game. That's week 17 last year. He went
versus Philly.
Yeah. He did really good.
Remember that guy?
The last 2 weeks he went absolutely.
Yeah. He went crazy. BBTB had something to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I feel like James Conner will be that guy, especially in the red zone. They did like to run the ball a lot in the red zone. And so if James Conner is able to get those 3 to 4 yards per down, we'll just keep feeding him the ball. Dude, I think was averaging like a little over like 15 carries a game, 17 carries a game, something like that,
All right.
and getting a lot of usage. They had what's his name last year? I think it was like something Ingram. They tried to fit him in, but he wasn't really the guy. So I think Connor finally proved himself like pretty much every year. And
I think Connor was out for a few weeks now with an injury.
He was out for 4 weeks.
4 weeks, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They tried to put that Ingram guy in, and he wasn't really living up to the hype. And
I mean,
Connor came back.
When Connor came back, I mean, they just plugged him right in. They trust him. He does good things. He's a pass catching back. For where he's being drafted, is his value? Is he good value there? Is he being drafted too late? Is he being drafted?
What rank is he at?
He's ranked as RB19. He's currently ranked 55th overall, and he's being taken slightly after that in Yahoo and Sleeper both. So he's end of the 5th round. Or
I think it's definitely decent value. Honestly.
Decent value.
Yeah.
If he's ranked 19, right? Because last year, he finished as RB18, and that's missing 4 games.
Right. Yeah. The thing is, do you guys think he's going to stay healthy? Because I think even the year before,
probably
he
not.
had a few.
He old.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, he's getting old. I honestly don't. It wouldn't surprise me if Connor got injured again. I just think that just at the age and just the fact that he has been injured in previous seasons, I think it's a little bit kind of foolish to think that he's going to be perfectly healthy all season.
Let me fix my statement. He could stay healthy if Trey Benson can get some carries taken from him.
No. Look, because the reason why I think he should stay healthy. Obviously, we can't predict the future, but I think the Cardinals are going to become more of a passing offense with adding Marvin Harrison, with Trey McBride, like going off towards the end of the season last year. So McBride's going to be that guy towards the end. They got 2nd-year Michael Wilson out of Stanford. That's heavily improved. I think that team is going to turn into more of a passing than an actual running game. And, I feel like he should stay healthy. And if they get into that end zone or like within the 5 or 10, can't hand it to Connor. So I like Connor where he's at.
I think for any of those that haven't drafted yet and you're drafting, if you have James Conner, I would pick up Trey Benson just as a handcuff, just in case. We've seen Connor get injured. You don't want to be sitting there without a huge volume running back. He was, I think, within the first 6 weeks last season, James Conner had more than 100% of the yards per carry in the offense because literally the QB, I think, carried for negative yards. So he had like 101% of the yards per carry. So he does everything for them on the ground. So if he gets injured, obviously, whoever's behind him is going to get a lot of work.
Yeah.
They do have Imari DeMarcado and Michael Carter, but I think the rookie Trey Benson would take the backfield. But who knows? If you had to take or choose between Aaron Jones and James Conner, who do you take?
Conner.
I'm going Conner just because that offense is going to push that ball down the field.
Minnesota offense is going to be pretty banged up. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to move the ball. Conner or this one is pretty simple, I think. Conner or Kenneth Walker?
Kenneth Walker,
yeah. So he's RB17, right? So that's where yeah. So I think between Aaron Jones and James Conner, I take James Conner. Marvin Harrison, he's currently being drafted. He's 16th overall, wide receiver 9. I mean, early in the 2nd round, and his ADP is about where he's ranked. Do you guys think that's too high? Is that too early? Is it too early, or is he? I mean, look, because people are ranking him that high because they think he's that good, and people are taking him around there because they believe in the hype and what they saw from him in college.
The thing is, though, I think he's been. There was some kind of like report saying that he's as hyped as much as Calvin Johnson coming out of college.
Right.
He could have been drafted if he was eligible after his freshman year at Ohio State.
Right.
He's going to be that guy.
Right.
I'm good friends with a guy that's his best friends on the team, and pretty much he's saying that offense is going to be ran through Marvin Harrison. Like
I think
option one, a lot of plays, everything.
Yeah, bro. I think we could have deduced that from how the team looks without having to know the friend of his friend on the team.
No. I mean, my friend's been best friends with that kid since he was in middle school.
Well,
so
we'll take your word for it. MFB, MFB has
I
something.
think it's interesting because, bro, probably there has probably never been a draft where a rookie receiver has gone this high.
That I can remember. Yeah,
rookie RBs. Yeah, we see it all the time. They go in the first round of fantasy, but for a rookie receiver, never seen it. Could this be the guy?
I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of risk.
I have him in my rankings like around 9, not at 9, but he's like 11, 11, maybe 10.
Let's throw some names: Devontae Adams or Marvin Harrison, with Gardner Minshew thrown to.
I'm taking Tay because of the Minshew news. I'm taking Tay.
I'm taking him too.
Simple, yeah.
You take Marvin Harrison or Drake London.
That's a good one.
With Kirk Cousins throwing the ball,
go Marvin, bro.
Really?
I'll just see. Yeah.
I mean, and this for those listening and watching it depends on how your draft goes and your second pick. If your first pick, you have someone that's stable, you know is going to do good for you. You can take a gamble on a player like this, then go for it. And if you're interested in seeing what he can do for you, go ahead. But I just think that the value for him at that early on is I don't know if it's really going to be worth it. And this is coming from a Cardinals fan.
Yeah. It's tough to meet that value at such a high round.
I mean, Drake London. So other receivers, Drake London, Chris Olave. I mean, Chris Olave and Marvin Harrison. Who do you take?
Harrison.
I think at that point I draw the line. I take Harrison. Drake London for me was the cutoff. I think I'll take Drake London over Marvin Harrison.
Man, I might do Olave there. Honestly,
really,
I have Olave a bit higher this year.
Okay.
But I mean, it's
okay.
It's a tough one. I wouldn't be mad with either, but
yeah,
it depends how I'm feeling. Right.
Yeah. So it's a very risky pick. It could pay off, but is it paying off that well?
Yeah. But then that's like my cutoff, right?
Yeah. Olave is the cutoff for you. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. That's pretty much it. I mean, they have a couple other guys. I'm a huge fan of Michael Wilson, who's their third receiver. But let's also talk about Trey McBride, the tight end, who did good things last season. What do you guys think about Trey McBride and where he's being drafted, and is it worth it?
Where's he being drafted?
He's a tight end 3 after Laporta and Travis Kelce.
Tight end 3?
Yes, he's being drafted currently. He's ranked 48th overall, and he's being drafted there in all formats.
No, I can't waste my pick on a tight end, man. Are you talking to a guy?
You're huge on fading the tight end, right? But do you place him as tight end 3 above Mark Andrews? He's ranked right above Mark Andrews, and they're being drafted right after each other in all formats.
Well, things with Mark Andrews coming off an injury from last year, and so that's what Mark Andrews, like, if he never got injured, I think he'd be higher. But I just would not be able to draft a tight end with my 3rd or even 4th pick when there's
that early on.
4. Yeah, no way.
I mean, let's say he starts falling in the draft, right? This is the beginning of the 5th round that he's being drafted, right? Let's say you're in the end of the 5th round, right? And it starts coming to you. End of the 5th round, do you take him?
I'd take him at the 5th round, because 5th round's like that weird round. Like, your 5th pick is a really weird pick. You got like.
Do you take him or Mark Andrews if they're both on the board?
I would go McBride just because right now McBride's healthy, and Mark Andrews, he's also healthy, but we don't know how he's going to come off of that injury that he had towards the end of the season last year.
McBride or Kincaid? With Josh Allen slanging it.
That's a tough one, man. I really don't know.
It's a toss-up. I mean, Josh Allen with very few weapons in Buffalo, and Kincaid was doing good things last season too. So any of those guys will be good for you. They'll give you production. Trey McBride's gonna be good. Kyler Murray's got something to prove, in my opinion, so he's gonna be throwing it a lot. Trey McBride's a huge end zone threat, so I think if you put him on your team, he's gonna do good things. Let's move on to the Seattle Seahawks MFB. Can you give us some information?
Yes, sir. So as far as offensive lineup for the Seattle Seahawks, pretty much the same lineup, right? We got DK, Tyler Lockett still, and JSN.
Mm-hmm.
RB
Right.
backfield still Kenneth Walker III and Zach Charbonnet. And they still got Geno Smith throwing the ball, right?
Right. It's basically the same exact team from
It's the
last
same
year.
exact team,
Yeah.
right? But except for the coaching changes, right?
Right.
So they now have Mike McDonald, right?
Right.
Who I think came from Baltimore Ravens.
Right.
And he was like handling defensive stuff at the Ravens, I believe, right?
Right.
So it might be on the new OC, Ryan Grubb, who was at UW and coached Michael Penix, the Atlanta backup QB.
Right.
Right. And so Grubb is, I guess, low key. He would do a lot of work with like pass heavy backs, deep passes. Right. That's what he was working on.
Yeah.
I think UW increased like the deep ball rate up like 6% in last year.
Love that.
So
yeah,
he's definitely proven for like passing and QB work. As far as the groundwork, I don't know. Right. That's kind of the question mark in the air right now. We don't know how the RBs will go, but from preseason till now, I definitely have Kenneth Walker kind of on my rising list. Like he's definitely kind of coming up more, and I kind of like taking him more rather than Charbonnet.
100%. Yeah.
Right now. Now another piece we need to talk about, right, is the second-year receiver Jackson Smith, right? He got a lot of praise from McDonald about being a massive piece on the offense. So
right.
We'll see how he's being used. He's still a third on the depth chart, but you know,
he's
could we
being
see a
drafted
rotation like Chicago, or
right?
You know, because they weren't really utilizing him last year too much. So maybe this year they actually try to utilize him in more specific designed plays, right?
Right.
And that'll be a key factor.
Yeah, I mean, he's being drafted. Jackson Smith-Njigba is being drafted ahead of Tyler Lockett by about 6 positions. He's ranked wide receiver 45, and Tyler Lockett is ranked wide receiver 51. Of those 2 wide receivers, do you think their value is worth it? I mean, they're pretty late in the draft. Jackson Smith-Njigba is end of the 9th round. Do you take any of these guys besides DK Metcalf, the wide receivers?
I think that late in the round, and if it's between the two, probably rolling the dice on Jackson Smith.
Right. Are you guys interested in Lockett? I mean, he's kind of been Old Faithful, you know. He's every season he gets, you know, a decent amount of targets. He gets the long balls. Pause. He has pretty standard production, I think, generally each year. So I don't know. How do you guys feel about him? Hey.
So what ranks were they, Kimo, side by side? Was it like 30, 33, 34?
So Jackson Smith-Njigba is wide receiver 45, and Tyler Lockett is wide receiver 51.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, they're late. And it's the same offense. I mean, you have a new offensive coordinator and a new head coach. So things can definitely change, right?
Yep.
I think that's why they're being drafted, or at least Tyler Lockett is being drafted very late.
I think it's definitely worth to invest in this receiving core, at least in Seattle.
Right.
Right. Because if the OC Grubb, right, can make it the same kind of style that they did 2 years ago, right? If you remember when Geno Smith started in 2022, and he finished QB5 that year, right?
Right.
So if they replicate that, everybody can get some food. Feel me?
Yeah. No, it'll be huge production for all 3 of those receivers. I think. What was that?
I was just gonna say, if you have a chance to get a Seattle Seahawk, grab them. DK, Lockett, Njigba, Geno, Kenneth, and Charbonnet. You have a chance to get one of those homies, well, obviously DK, Kenneth Walker will be one of your starters. But then the other guys, you can either stash on the bench or put them at your flex, And so
I mean, yeah, Gino's ranked QB 27. I mean, he's ranked below Russell Wilson. I think you can pick him up off the waivers.
yeah, I mean, but I feel like he'll pick it up.
So let's go more into like DK Metcalf and where he's going, right? So
Right.
think
I mean, currently
I-
listed as the wide receiver 20.
20. Yeah, I was gonna say either 19 or 20, right? So
Yep.
let's ask a little rapid fire: DK Metcalf or DJ Moore?
I take DK Metcalf.
I'm high on DK Metcalf this year, even though I'm a big fan of DJ Moore.
I'm not necessarily high on DK Metcalf. I just think, on DK Metcalf, but I think DJ Moore in that offense with Caleb Williams, rookie quarterback, and they added Keenan Allen to that offense and the rookie. I just think there's a lot of mouths to feed and an experienced NFL quarterback to feed them. So that to me, I take Metcalf there.
DK Metcalf or Michael Pittman?
DK.
I lean Michael Pittman on that one. I'm not gonna lie. I just think that, I think that in Anthony Richardson healthy, he was getting in the ball a lot. So he's above the other receivers. They have I don't know in Indianapolis. I don't know.
They got nobody else in Indianapolis.
That was kind of what I was going with that. Like, there's no one else really, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay, DK Metcalf or Jalen Waddle?
I take Metcalf over Waddle.
I'd still go Metcalf.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
Keep going, bro.
Yeah.
Keep going, and until we get a ceiling or a bottom. Rather.
Or where? Oh,
Well, then it's DK Metcalf or Mike Evans.
Oh, DK for sure, without a doubt. I'm not
over Mike Evans.
I'm not a fan of Mike Evans. Letting you know.
How about Cooper Kupp?
All right, Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, I take Cooper Kupp. So there's a there's a threshold
Okay,
there.
there it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's not gonna be bad. DK, he can do good things. He had, was it a 4 touchdown game against the Cowboys last season, or was it 5? I had him on my team, and I was running around like that.
I watched that game where he had
that was crazy game.
Yeah.
5 touchdowns, so he can do that.
That was
200 yards.
That was, I believe, the night of my wedding.
That was. We were at your wedding.
We were watching that.
Yeah, I was watching the game, bro. I'm sorry, I was not focused on you at all. It's after the game. After the game, we got focused.
I don't even remember the wedding, bro.
No, we got focused. As soon as that game was over, we were locked, bro. But yeah, that was a 5 touchdown game against the Cowboys team. So he can get it done, and he's proven that.
Yeah.
Lockett's never going to get you 5 touchdowns.
No.
Jackson Smith and Jigma's not getting you 5 touchdowns. DK Metcalf is that dude. He can do it for you.
Easily.
Take him in your drafts. He's going to do good things. He's always done good things. Kenneth Walker, RB 17, him or Kamara?
Things I have both of those dudes really high, and I have both of those dudes finishing top 10 in their RBs. So it's
really okay
for me. I'm happy with either or.
Toss up. So if they both come your way, you have the option for both. What are you taking? You're a Saints.
I'm a Saints fan.
I'm Kamara solidified.
I'm not solidified on Kamara, but I would take Kamara. Just the work he's going to get. The pass catching is, if you're in a standard league, you can rethink that. But Kamara in a half PPR with the catches from dump offs from Carr, I'd take Kamara.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Mixon or Kenneth Walker?
Walker for me.
Walker for me too. I was like, that one seems pretty obvious.
But Walker runs hard.
Probably Walker.
I'll take Walker. No, he's a beast.
Mm-hmm.
The cutoff probably is going to be, let's see, James Cook or Kenneth Walker?
Cook. Going Cook.
From a fantasy standpoint, with where the Bills are at in the offense, I'm probably going to go Cook.
I wouldn't be mad if I wouldn't be mad at taking Kenneth Walker over James Cook. I wouldn't be upset that I got Kenneth Walker and not James Cook. Those guys are all ranked pretty close to each other. So yeah, I mean, Kenneth Walker's, he's good. I mean, he's going to do good things. He runs hard. He probably won people some championships last season.
Hey,
I know he won one.
I don't got to bring that up, man. Come on now.
I'm going to keep bringing that up. But no, he did good things, and he's a good player. That team, new offensive coordinator, new coach, but the players, the talent is there. So look for those players in your drafts. Let's move on to the 49ers. BBTB, why don't you let us know everything that happened with the 49ers?
I'll try to give you everything, but the Niners, one-man army Christian McCaffrey, should be your number one overall pick. If he's healthy, that man should win you your fantasy league. But pretty much, if you get the number one overall pick, you're pretty much set. If you got to know how to draft, obviously, but if that man stays healthy, that man's gonna minimum 25 a game, minimum, without a doubt, unless they start blowing.
Minimum against Dallas.
Against Dallas, 100%. Minimum every team, like at least like 20, like, but ceiling is like 40. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, he can get 40. We saw that last year.
Let me do a little pop-up trivia, right?
Mm-hmm.
For C-Mac last season, besides week 18 where he sat out, how many single-digit games did he get?
Zero.
That's correct, Brett.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, he was. He had, I think, the highest percentage of fantasy championship wins on like a team. Like that, him specifically, I think won like 40% of fantasy like championships had Chris McCaffrey on their team. That's insane.
Yeah,
he's fantasy cheat code, bro.
The only slight down/negative side is that he is dealing with a calf strain. It's been bothering him for a little bit. That can linger on during the season. But if he stays healthy, man, he's the guy for sure.
Yeah, I think they're sitting him out just to keep him ready to go for the regular season. But he's you can't not take Christian McCaffrey number one overall. That's just not a good idea.
Yeah, and then
you might think you have you're getting the edge and like, oh no, I'm gonna like 200 IQ this, and like I think he's gonna get injured, but it will haunt you if you don't take him.
Yeah,
but yeah.
So I think obviously Debo hopefully stays healthy. He stays healthy. Great pick. I think he's going late second round, early third, if I'm not mistaken. Solid pick in my opinion. If Ayuk sits out, like if he doesn't sign back with the Niners, even better of a pick because Brock Purdy, system quarterback, get the ball to their best guys. Very simple. So Debo should be the guy. Obviously, talking about Ayuk, he needs to resign. Sitting out until pretty much the man gets paid. If he doesn't get paid, he's going to get traded, shipped off somewhere else. I think top three teams are the Patriots, Steelers, and Browns, I think, something like that.
Are you concerned with Ayuk as a player because he requested a trade, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I think he requested it because he wasn't getting paid, like the money that he wanted to get paid.
But are you concerned with a player complaining like that the coach might not be keen on giving him playing time or just not drawing up plays to him? Because we've seen that in the past, like they just don't get him the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because the coach is like, they're beefing, right? So are you concerned with that at all? Or do you think that's just noise and coaches don't care about that stuff? They don't have emotions when it comes to that stuff.
No, I don't think so. Just because if he does get paid, he's going to prove why he's like he got paid. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like as soon as he gets paid and he sees that direct deposit hit his account 2 days later with whatever his guarantees and bonuses and sign-ons and all that, he's going to be like, all right, bro, it's go time. And then season's 2 weeks around the corner. So.
Well, let's say they don't trade him, right? And then he stays on the team, but they don't. Well,
I mean, if they don't pay him, he's still sitting out. He hasn't been to one practice in July. Yeah. He hasn't played a preseason, nothing. So
yeah,
he's just gonna sit.
Okay, so do you take him or Cooper Kupp?
As of right now, Cooper Kupp.
If he gets paid, do you take Brandon Ayuk?
He gets paid. Do I take
Kupp?
I still take Cup
I
if
probably
if
would. I probably take Ayuk.
if he gets paid
If he gets paid over. Yeah.
over Cooper Cup. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know.
Um,
I'm a big fan of that Stafford Cup combo. I'd slightly lean towards Cup if those were like the like I'm up next and those two are on the board. I'm probably gonna go Cup. Um,
uh,
but I wouldn't be mad with either or.
Brandon Ayuk or Mike Evans.
Oh, you doing done?
I'm probably going Mike Evans there. But I'm a Mike Evans believer this year, bro. I don't
I'm
know.
not even close.
Nico Collins or Brandon Ayuk.
Ayuk. Maybe.
Probably Ayuk. Yeah.
We're speculating if he gets paid. If he doesn't get
Yeah.
paid, he's just not gonna play, right? So,
Yeah, exactly.
and if he gets traded, then we don't have to worry about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those are all things to consider, right? But once he gets paid, and obviously it's going to be a huge contract, so he'll get paid. It'd be good money. So the next receiver would be Deebo Samuel. So would you obviously take Deebo over Ayuk? Right?
Not
Or would you
necessarily.
you would draft Ayuk before Deebo?
Just because Debo's been like has that lingering hamstring, always been hurt with that ankle. Ayuk hasn't had an injury yet. In the past couple years that he's played. So
Better knock on wood.
yeah, exactly. And so, and so I would lean towards Ayuk just because I feel like he would stay more healthy.
Okay, then let's get into the discussion. Deebo Samuel or Nico Collins?
that's awesome, man.
I mean,
I'm probably choosing Debo.
I think I take Deebo
I'm
because he
going
can
Deebo.
really get you. Yeah,
Experience that little jet sweep shit every 2 plays a game, like
Chris Olave or Deebo.
Debo.
Olave.
Debo.
Okay, we have a split decision there.
Olave there.
The thing is, trust me, I'm a Saints fan. I love Olave. It's just Derek Carr is going to be Derek Carr, and I don't know. I'm just not ready for it. I'll be honest.
Yeah, you're a little nervous, huh?
Very.
Drake London or Deebo?
Drake London.
Probably Drake London. Yeah.
I take Drake London. Yeah. He's ranked above him by 2 ranks, so
yeah.
Kind of close, but yeah. Okay. We can move on.
Yeah. So then we got George Kittle. I didn't see any reports or anything like that, so I'm assuming he's healthy. If he is healthy, great connection there with him and Brock Purdy. Plays are designed for him. Could be solid. What rank is he going at right now?
He's a tight end 6. He's being drafted in the beginning of the 6th round.
Mm-hmm.
He's right. Him and Kyle Pitts are neck and neck. They're being drafted right next to each other in all formats, pretty much.
He had a good year last year, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he did good things.
Like a good year. Him or Pitts this year?
Pitts in that new offense, Kirk Cousins.
I'm still going Kittle.
Really? I take Pitts. I roll the dice.
Kittle's like, he's either going to win you the week or possibly lose you the week, bro.
And if he gets injured...
Because I'm looking at these score lines, bro. It's bad, bro.
I mean, so for Kittle, I feel like he did have some injuries last few seasons, right? Kyle Pitts is
last
coming
season, I don't think he did.
He sat out
he might have sat out 1 week.
Okay.
He sat out the last week, but I think they sat out everybody the last week.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's all I see here.
Okay. I think I roll the dice on Kyle Pitts there. If it's up to me,
I might hit the dice roll on Kyle Pitts as well.
I mean, you know, that you could get burned that way, but I mean, why not?
Just the one you always want to go back to, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, George Kittle's good. He did good things last year. He's in a good offense with Brock Purdy, system quarterback. So yeah, they're going to do good things together.
Yeah. So then we also have that rookie they drafted, Ricky Pearsall. I think that guy, I don't think he'll blow up his rookie year, but I feel like he'll play a pretty good factor. Is he worth drafting? I don't really think so. I think maybe pick him up off the waivers if he's still there. But Ricky Pearsall should be solid in the future. But I don't know about this season. Maybe towards the end, if Deebo, Ayuk, or Kittle, one of those homies get hurt, or
He's
McCaffrey.
dealing,
I think Pearsall's good.
he's currently dealing with a shoulder injury. He's
Yeah.
not in line to practice, and non-participant Tuesday is the last news on him.
Oh yeah, then yeah, they drafted him. A lot of hype around that guy. Pretty much it.
Sure. I mean, look out for him. He'll be on the waivers. I mean, just look for him if you're interested in taking a shot on a guy, and just keep him on your radar.
Yeah. Niners defense, still a great defense. They lost Chase Young. Played great in the Super Bowl, but they let him go. Greenlaw was a big factor in the Super Bowl till he tore his I think his Achilles.
Yeah.
Very sad, very heartbroken after that. His surgery was very successful, and I think he's going to make a return middle towards the end of the season. But Niners still have the guys to play really good defense, though.
Yeah, Niners defense, all those Cowboys defense, Bills defense, those are the top defense people take, in the earlier 8th round, 9th round, 10th round. Yeah, look for them if they're out there and you're not sure who to take in those rounds. Niners defense, I mean, take them. They're going to do good things.
Yeah. Yeah.
For Brock Purdy, he's listed as a QB 11. Do you guys? I mean, I know you're big on fading the quarterback, BBTV. Do you take Brock Purdy? And do you take him over Jaden Daniels from Washington, or do you take him over Tua, Caleb Williams, Jared Goff?
Tua, no. But the other guys, I'd probably go over. I'll probably
Brock Purdy.
Yeah, Brock Purdy instead of those guys. But what draft round is he going? What round?
He's going in the 8th round, middle of the 8th round.
If I'm faded a QB at that time, yeah, I'm taking him out there for sure.
I mean, we'd assume your other slots are full, right? Your tight end, your wide receivers, your running backs, your flex. So and some bench spots even.
Mm-hmm.
So by then, if your quarterback position's still empty, he's kind of all reliable. I feel like he'll get you like minimum 18, 20 points a game.
Yeah. 2 touchdowns,
I think
250 yards.
Yeah, but there are other quarterbacks that are ranked and being drafted later than him. For example, Tua, Caleb Williams, even Jared Goff in Detroit. So let's actually put it up. You take Brock Purdy, or do you take Tua?
I'm still taking Tua on that one, just because of what they got.
You take Tua, MMB take Purdy.
I'm taking Purdy. Yeah.
Okay.
He finished 3 spots higher than Tua last season.
Right.
With 1 less game. Yeah, I'm taking Purdy.
But I mean, Tyreek
just a better system.
Waddle was hurt. A-Chain was hurt. You got a lot of guys hurt on the Dolphins defense for that season. So
true, but I mean, if they're injured last season, they could be injured this season. So, and they did. A-Chan's doing a lot of running there, so they have good running backs. Brock Purdy or Dak Prescott? No Brandon Cooks in Dallas.
I'll probably go Purdy.
I'm probably taking Purdy, bro. Just because Dak had a crazy season, and I'm just expecting regression.
Yeah.
Right. Jordan Love or Brock Purdy?
I'm going Love.
I'm going Love.
A good season, but I think he can sustain it, so probably Love.
Yeah, I take Love there. Okay. Yeah, we can move on. Do you have anything else from the Niners?
No, but if you can get one of those guys on your team, those starting guys, your team should be solid. Yeah,
Debo, Brandon Ayuk. I mean, obviously McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, George Kittle, and their offense is firing on all cylinders. They're trying to go for the Super Bowl, obviously.
I'd probably say also just keep a handcuff too. Who's his hand? Is it Mason? Their handcuff
for the running back
for McCaffrey. Yeah, is it Mason? Jordan Mason?
Elijah Mitchell's listed on the depth chart right behind him.
Oh, Mitchell's still there. Oh yeah, put Mitchell as a handcuff there. Mitchell.
Yeah, if you're number 1 overall, you get in McCaffrey. Draft Elijah Mitchell. If someone swoops him before you, make a trade. The season hasn't started yet. You can still trade before anything happens to McCaffrey. And if they're unwilling to trade, hopefully he stays healthy, and then you can get him later when they drop him to the waivers. Let's move on to the Rams. Not many offensive changes in this offseason. I don't think any staffing changes either. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. They signed Jimmy G as a backup to Matthew Stafford, and
Bro
he's
got
actually
suspended.
for 2 weeks for PEDs. That's crazy. I don't.
Honestly, bro, they should just let him, bro. That's how bad he is.
But
You're not wrong. I mean, this is not good. So anything happens to Matthew Stafford, and that team is. I mean, Cooper Kupp, Puka, goodbye.
no,
That's it.
but they still have Carson Wentz. I think they picked him up towards the end of the season last year.
They have Stenson Bennett and Dresser Wynn. I've never heard of these guys.
They don't have Wentz.
It's just Wentz is not there.
Number 11, Wentz? No,
I'm looking at the depth chart. Wentz is not there, so they must have cut him.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah. So Jimmy. I mean, they wouldn't have signed Jimmy Garoppolo if they had Wentz, right?
Yeah. It's
like
true.
3 competent. I mean, I wouldn't even consider Jimmy Garoppolo competent, but I mean, he's just going to be standing there like modeling and stuff on the sidelines. They also drafted Blake Corum from Michigan in the 3rd round, so he's going to be backing up Kyren Williams as according to the depth chart. So, I mean, take it for what it is. But I think that's about it in terms of changes that they made in the off season. Let's get into the team. We can start with the first drafted players, Kyren Williams, who's currently being drafted as the RB7 early in the 2nd round. How do you guys feel about Kyren Williams? Is he being drafted a little too early? Should he be drafted ahead of Travis Etienne, Derrick Henry, those guys?
No, I think he's too high right now.
I think that is a little bit high.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then again, looking at numbers, maybe not. Right?
I think he's being
same
drafted.
Staff,
right.
Same offense.
Yeah.
Why not repeat the same year?
I think he's going to do good things. I think you keep him right where he's at.
But the thing is, why would they draft a 3rd round solid running back from Michigan, won the Natty with the 3rd round pick? You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to do something with that.
Maybe they. True, but we had the similar case with Charbonnet last season being signed, and he didn't do anything. And we had Tank Bigsby over in Jacksonville, did nothing behind Etienne. Absolutely nothing. Maybe he had 10 touches in the season or something. They draft these big, hefty backs or these really athletic backs, these teams. And it's maybe they're taking a shot. Maybe they want to see what these guys can do. But at the end of the day, you're going to start your stars. Unless something happens to Kyren Williams, you can go and look for Blake Corum on the waivers if you want to sign him.
Blake Corum, definitely a great backup to handcuff, bro.
Yeah, I will say that.
Let's hope that he doesn't poach those touchdowns.
I mean, I don't think he will. It'd be weird. I don't think that's the style of Sean McVay to rotate running backs.
The worry I would have with Sean McVay specifically is he rides the hot hand. The homie forgot about Cam Akers and booted him to the fucking curb.
I think they were having beef. We can. I mean, I don't know if we want to get into that, but I think they were beefing. I think Cam Akers.
I don't even know. He's selling cars or something.
A door-to-door salesman, bro.
Yeah,
but
on the streets.
But let's say Blake Corum gets hot one game, he might just forget about Kyren. You know what I mean? That's kind of how McVay rolls. So
right, yeah. I mean, true. But I for any of these first early round running backs, you're gonna want the handcuff. If you're getting a running back, let's say you fade the running back in the first couple rounds, you end up with Rachaad White or Kenneth Walker as your RB1, right? Those guys, you can also get their handcuffs. It's important, but especially these like McCaffrey, Breece Hall, Bijan, even Kyren Williams, getting the backup, the handcuff is huge in these drafts. Don't sleep on that. Make sure you do that. Make sure you know who they are, and pay attention to where they're going in the draft. And if someone takes them in front of you, just trade them before the season starts.
Yeah.
Or just wait till the season starts, and they'll probably drop them anyways. So, I like where Kyren is going right now. I think he's great value. I think he's Gibbs is dealing with an injury right now. I take him over Gibbs.
Just because
Gibbs is listed as the RB6.
Just because of the injury, I would take Kyren.
I mean, not only that, Montgomery's there, but I mean, we could talk about that at another time. We will. Yeah. Do you take Saquon Barkley or Kyren Williams?
Saquon.
100%. Yeah. He's not RB5. Kyron's being drafted in a good position. Take him where he's at. He's going to do good things.
Who's running back 8, 9, 10 real quick?
If we go back to the
Probably like Pacheco,
ETN, Derrick Henry, and Devon Achane.
Oh.
These are half PPR rankings.
Yeah.
Yep.
And from Fantasy Pros. So these rankings are going to change from Yahoo, from Sleeper, all these other apps. They're all going to be different. So you might, and this is also another piece of advice for those of you that haven't drafted yet in your drafts. You have to realize that you might have a list or a ranking for these players. And, the platform that you're drafting on might have a different ranking. So they might rank someone really high that you have, not that high, and it'll throw people off. People might draft them early. So make your own rankings and just be aware of that when you're drafting.
Right.
I'm
taking, honestly, thinking about those three dudes, probably taking Kyron over those three dudes.
Over ETN, Henry, and HN?
Yeah, HN coming off of that injury. Henry, that Lamar might pull it a lot. Who's the last one? ETN. That's my only toss up, but I'd slightly go with Kyron. Barely.
I'm for sure probably grabbing Henry above Kyron.
I was gonna say Derrick Henry's,
but that's probably the only one.
Yeah,
the other ones are close.
I think they're all close.
I think you can't. Yeah, I think you can't go wrong with any of those guys. I think if Kyron falls to you or he's there, just you want an RB, take him.
Yeah.
But I think if we let's talk about the wide receivers. So Cooper Kupp and Puka. Puka's going as the wide receiver 8. He's being drafted in the beginning of the second round. Actually, he's ranked right above Kyron in sleep. Actually, this is Fantasy Pros. How do you guys feel about Puka as a wide receiver 8?
I don't know. What's Cooper Kupp, by the way? Wide receiver what?
He's wide receiver 17.
Yeah, I do think that Cooper Kupp will finish higher than Puka Nacua, just because Cooper Kupp missed, I think 4 to 6 games last year because a week before the season started, I think hurt his hamstring really, really bad. And so
I just hated it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he pretty much was trying to, during the midway of the season, he was trying to pretty much just get it better, and then towards the end, that's when they try to make that playoff push, but came short. But Cooper Kupp was looking really good towards those last few games. So I might go with Cooper Kupp slightly over Puka with finishing, and I think Puka Nacua is dealing with a knee injury too, and so that can play a big factor throughout the season.
Yeah, currently I think the news is, let's see, I don't see the news. I do see these listed as questionable, but I don't have the report in front of me. Apparently, 2 weeks ago, they said that there's no risk or no threat of him missing the season opener. So he's currently listed as week to week. I think they're planning on starting him week 1. I think they're setting him out as a precaution.
This is on Pro Football Network. He sustained a knee injury during a joint practice 4 days ago. Last week.
Okay.
It was published 4 days ago, but it was the week before that.
Right. Okay. All right. So be conscious of that when you're drafting, and pay attention to the news. On Puka. Do you take Puka or do you take Garrett Wilson?
Garrett Wilson. Landslide.
Garrett Wilson
for sure. Marvin Harrison or Puka?
Marvin.
I'll take it Puka.
I take Puka. As a Cardinals fan.
It's just a much safer, better pick.
100%.
He's already proven. Puka's already.
I don't know, bro. I mean, I got that.
Devontae Adams or Puka?
That's where it gets close. Probably Puka though.
Devonta.
I take Devontae Adams.
Devontae? Oh yeah, Devontae Adams for sure.
I take Devontae Adams.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's you can go either way with a lot of these guys, but let's Cooper Kupp, wide receiver 17, being drafted end of the 3rd round, and in most form in sleeper he's listed he's going beginning of the 4th round. He's going end of the third round in Yahoo, and that's his rank in Fantasy Pros. Are you guys worried about him getting injured?
No, not at all.
Cup, not too much. Just
Okay,
because like he obviously was dealing with it at the beginning of last season, but
right,
he ended up playing through and was fine
right.
for the most part. So I think like at this point he's probably good.
Okay. Just real quick, Ayuk or Cooper Cup?
Cup.
I'd
If
say
Ayuk
Cup.
signs,
If Ayuk signs, we're assuming Ayuk signs. If he signs,
well, Ayuk.
I'd say Cup there, man. I'd say Cup.
I'm
Mike,
just really high on Cup because I feel like that Matthew Stafford connection, that triple crown that he had 2 years ago, it's still there. It's still there. Stafford was also playing hurt. He had that really bad thumb, hurt ribs, stuff like that. But since both of those dudes are healthy,
yeah,
they're going to be a duo, man.
you have to realize that if anything happens to Stafford, he's going to have Jimmy G throwing him the ball. That's the only reason that it gets a
Hey,
little.
Jimmy G roided up though.
Yeah, he's been working out.
Can we, bro?
Yeah. Just something to keep in mind. Yeah, I think Cooper Cup or Mike Evans.
Cup.
For me, Mike Evans.
I lean Mike Evans, and just kidding. I want Cup.
Yes, sir.
Cooper Cup or Nico Collins.
Cup.
That's a close one for me. Probably Nico.
Well, the thing is, I have Cup finishing top 10. That's the
Okay.
thing. Like, I think Cup is going to
Yeah.
fall.
Debo or Cup? These guys. I mean, this is the wide receiver 13 versus the wide.
Cup.
I'm going Cup, man. Like, I feel like Cup being drafted. If you have a chance to get
Olave or Cooper Cup.
Cup,
Olave.
Drake London or Cooper Cup.
London.
London's the cutoff. There it is. So if anyone, whoever's listening, and if you're paying attention, and you look back at what we said earlier, London seems to be the cutoff for a lot of these wide receivers. He's going as a wide receiver at 11 because we talked about Deebo Samuel, we talked about Brandon Ayuk, we talked about Cooper Cup, and all three of these guys. We compared them to Mike Evans, Nico Collins, Chris Olave. These guys are the wide receiver 12 through 17, right? And then Michael Pittman as well, wide receiver 18. Drake London's kind of the cutoff. If I say Chris Olave or Deebo Samuel or Nico Collins or Mike Evans, we have kind of disputing, agreements. I don't agree with, you say this guy, I say this guy, we're all kind of disputing. So it seems like if you're drafting, I would look to grab one of these guys early on, one of these receivers, and make sure you have like a stud receiver that you can trust and that you feel good about, rather than scrambling in these later rounds between, do I take Chris Olave? Do I take Deebo Samuel? Do I take Nico, Mike Evans? Which of these guys are going to finish above who? It's all kind of question marks, and it gets a little bit jumbled. So just to not be kind of flustered in your draft, think about that in terms of when you're grabbing a wide receiver in these first couple rounds. But yeah, so Cup is there. His value is good. You could take him over any of these guys, Olave, Deebo, Nico, and he's going to do good things. Him and Stafford have that connection.
But just real quick, I was just going to say, if you have a chance to get Cup with your third pick, like if you're late toward like middle/late with your third pick, and you're the guy that doesn't want to get that quarterback, the Mahomes, the Allen, or the Hurts, I do suggest get Cooper Cup. And if somehow he falls in the fourth, you immediately take him in the fourth. But if he's there in the third and you're fading the QB, I probably would take that.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, he's going to do good things, and we've seen what he can do. So, my only concern is if something happens to Stafford, which currently Stafford's listed as a QB 20. Is he undervalued there?
Yes, definitely. That is one of my sleeper picks, by the way. You guys tune back into episode 2.
Right. Yeah, he's being taken after Aaron Rodgers, after Kirk Cousins. Do you take him or Aaron Rodgers?
Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, that one's questionable.
that
I
one's
think
tough, bro, because we haven't seen Rodgers play yet.
Yeah.
yeah.
with the Jets. So that one's tough.
Kirk Cousins or Stafford?
Kirk.
Yeah.
No,
I think I take.
I'm going Stafford on that one. I like that offense
Okay.
a little more. Just because Kirk
Okay.
Cousins coming back off the ACL, that, I mean,
Right.
let's see how he comes back and plays. But right now, you got a healthy Stafford. I've seen him.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I mean he's a good value for where he's being taken. QB 20 is late. I mean he's going at the end of the draft pretty much.
I'd probably say stash him on your
11th,
bench, dude.
12th round. Yeah, if you can get him as a backup, or if you're fading the tight end or the quarterback that hard, and you're still have a quarterback at that time, you pick him up and start him, and who knows, it might win you a championship because you waited to get a quarterback, and it's good value.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford or Trevor Lawrence?
Oh, Stafford.
I think I take Stafford because Trevor Lawrence lost Ridley, so and
Kirk's really hurt right now.
Christian Kirk, yeah. So I think I take Stafford actually.
Yeah. That's interesting to me, but yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you take Trevor Lawrence?
I mean, maybe assuming they get some healthy receivers. I mean, we think of Lawrence, right? And he had such a bad year last year, right?
I had him
relative to from ADP to actual value, right?
Yeah,
he still finished higher than Matt Stafford.
Yeah, but Matt Stafford was playing hurt. Matt Stafford didn't have Cooper Kupp in those first 6-7 weeks.
But he had Puka.
Yeah, he had one just Puka by himself running around.
I don't
like
know,
a crazy guy.
Mean, I don't know. I
some numbers to put into perspective. Like T-Law had a terrible year, still finished better. So you know what I'm saying? Like
these are things to know. Yeah, no, I mean you're not wrong. No. And they're being drafted about 20.
Can't be emotional, brother.
No, I mean I just think more of I feel like since he has all the healthy guys to start the season, I feel like Stafford should be that guy. Like there's not a single person that's and also Stafford had Kyren Williams out for a little bit too. Kyren was hurt for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying,
I mean
everyone's healthy.
They also don't really have a tight end. They have Tyler Higbee, who's out with what was that?
No,
he had a knee injury.
They do have a tight end. They have that guy last year. He stepped up a little bit. He didn't go crazy.
Davis Allen?
Yes. He should be solid. Should be.
Davis Allen.
I guess.
Middle season, don't draft him.
I've never heard of
Davis Allen, lock it in, your 15th round pick.
Yeah. Make sure you take him.
Waiver
pick. It's gonna be this year's Puka.
No.
He's gonna go crazy.
But he should be decent though. I'm not saying fantasy wise, but like he should
I'm saying he doesn't. He just has Cooper Kupp and Puka, and that's it. The third receiver is DeMarcus Robinson. No one's touching him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Back to the question about between him and Trevor Lawrence. That's a toss up for me. I think if I get either of those guys, if I'm looking for a backup quarterback, I'm not really too upset about either of those guys. As a starter, I'd be kind of worried if I had either of those guys as my starter.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
But yeah. I think that just about does it for this division. How do you guys rank the teams?
Ooh, okay.
I think
I'm gonna go Niners first.
Okay.
This is tough. This is a tough division this year.
It's a little dicey.
Niners first again. They're just too good
for sure. Yeah.
I'm gonna say Rams second.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Seattle third. Like let the head coach and OC like get up to speed, and then next year they'll probably do better. And then I'll say Cardinals fourth, bro. Sorry.
Terrible. BBT
defense. The Cardinals defense is atrocious, bro.
Yeah. Look, if the Cardinals defense had a chance, I feel like they'd be up there. But right now, my order for the NFC West: Niners first. I got the Rams going second. I got Seattle third and Cardinals fourth. So pretty much the same things in MLB.
I have the Cardinals above the Seahawks. So I have Niners, Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks. I think that's
crazy.
Just something to know. Oh, I mean, I can't put them fourth, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I can't be doing that. Come on, man. That's my team. I can't be doing all that. I mean, for those listening, you heard it here. Cardinals defense sucks. So what does that mean in terms of fantasy? The defense sucks means that the other team's going to score a lot of points, which means offense is going to have to go crazy. So that means good things for Marvin Harrison, for Trey McBride, even James Conner. Maybe not so much for James Conner, but even for Kyler Murray. So that offense, you could get huge production out of those guys. Even if they're losing games, they're still going to be trying to maybe come back from behind. So think about that when you're drafting. But that'll do it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you on the next episode where we will be talking about players to fade this year. Inverse of sleeper picks. Yeah. So tune in, listen to us, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.